In practice, judiciary is a very poor remedy for the common man. The common man, I don't care if your flat costs 50 lakh rupees or if it costs 5 crore rupees or if it costs 25 crore rupees, you're still a common man. So judiciary is not a realistic remedy for the common man.
So then that begs the question, what is a realistic remedy for the consumer?
The easiest way to avoid this situation is don't deal with builders. Don't deal with builders means don't buy a house from that source. A builder is a bad and troublesome and dangerous source for you. Buy a house in resale. Don't buy a house from a builder. So this is along the lines of if someone is talking about share market, I'll say, listen, share market, don't subscribe to primary issues. Buy shares from the market. It's something like that. Buy a house that's ready. And one more thing I'm saying is, do not buy under construction.
Yes.
Under all circumstances, do not buy under construction. Now, why is that? Because under construction is not a product. Under construction is a promise. You have a product. Like a car is a product, a flat is a product. The car, he is not in the stage of putting up a factory somewhere in the country and then making a car and then selling you the car, which will be delivered to you in the year 2028. That is not how you're buying a car. A car is a finished product. You will go to the showroom, you will see a product. Every car is identical. If you're buying a black Merc of a certain brand, of a certain model, that is what you will get down to the last millimeter. So it's a very standardized product. Now, in the case of a flat, what happens is, we are making a project. It's a project. So what is the meaning of a project? The very word project means I intend to make it. I have set about making it. I am building it. It is not ready. And there will inevitably be some changes of this and that nature. But you have to accept all that. So that's a project. So what are you buying? You're buying a promise. That guy is telling you, I'm going to sell you 852 square feet in this configuration, in a 2 BHK configuration. Now that's just on paper. Then he is making you an investor in the project. You are not buying that product. He is in the process of making, let us say, 800 flats of this 852 square feet, this type of model. And you are saying, I will buy one of them, and towards that, I am going to start making payments now. As your project progresses, I will pay you more. So what is it? You are a participant in the project. Now, the word they don't use is risk. If you are an investor, and if there is a project, there is always a risk. Whether you call it a risk or not, it is still a risk. The project may not get completed. Or the project may run into legal trouble. Why? Why? I don't know, but it happens. So there may be legal trouble. There may be all kinds of trouble. There can be union trouble, for example, if there's a trade union. There can be material shortages. There can be a COVID-19, which came along and derailed many projects by a couple of years. There can be a war. So there can be any number of uncertainties. The project, there can be a government change. The government change can set back your project. Let us say they have made a corridor in Noida and called it the fast track development area. And it is under this government. Next thing you know, Modi Sarkar is gone, Congress Sarkar comes, and the first thing they do is, no, all this is nonsense. This was done with bribery. We want to stop all this nonsense. And for all you know, Supreme Court will step in and cancel it. You are subject to all that risk. And you are an innocent flat buyer. You don't know anything. You will say, I just trusted in the name. I saw this big name and I put my money. I thought he had it all figured out. Turns out he didn't. Now, why are you, an innocent flat buyer, who is already 30, 40, 50 lakh rupees in, or maybe even more, 1 crore, 1.5 crore, 2 crore rupees in, why are you didn't know anything, why are you to be the guy who loses money if this project is cancelled? The company will not lose money. Surely not. But you will lose money. And this is an extreme scenario, but these versions of these extreme scenarios happening all the time.
I'm so glad that you brought this up because I personally know people in Bangalore who buy these under construction properties on loan. They take a loan, they take money from somewhere
Right.
else, they buy these under construction properties, and then the properties get delayed. So these people now owe money to the bank or someone else, and they
Now
don't
they
even
owe
have a
money
house
to the
on the
bank.
side. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Now they owe money to the bank, So it's why are you getting into this situation in the first place? Don't do it. Now, the reason they do it, their logic is something like this. First of all, they have a mythology. They are so brainwashed by a propaganda which says, no, resale mein the houses are costlier and under construction the houses are cheaper. And how much cheaper? At least 10-20% cheaper. I ask them, how can a reasonable human being even say this in the first place? Did you do any research? Are you relying on any research? No, it's just generally the word in the market. Now that is propaganda. If you go to any estate agent, he will try to guide you to a builder's project and under construction. He will take you in the direction of an under construction even if you're set out to buy an actual ready possession flat. Like you say, I want a resale, your estate agent will take you. He will hold you by the hands and take you to a builder's sales office. Propaganda. There's a lot of propaganda. So people, and there's one thing they don't count. Okay, so what is the value of the flat? It is 1.1 crore rupees. Okay, fine. What about if you bought it in resale market? Yeah, I can get it for 1.25 crore rupees. Okay, so it's 15 lakh rupees cheaper. Yes, that is an entire 10% or more. Okay, so it is more than 10% cheaper. You say, let us take it on face value. When will you get the possession? Oh, it's ready. I can go and take it. I can live in it. Good. Is that a plus point or not? Yes. On the other hand, this 1.1 crore rupees में तुमको जो मिल रहा है, which is 10% cheaper than the other one, when is that expected? Oh, it will be done by end of year 2026. So you're going to wait till end of 2026 for getting possession. You're comparing it with something else which you're getting right now, which is ready, जो चलती हुई चीज है. How are you comparing the two things here? But no, वो क्या है ना, वो अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है. But अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है, the second thing is not even, is something you can't even see. You're not even seeing it. The first one is you can see the cracks. You can see the cracks in the wall. You can see the dampness. In the north, they call it sealan dampness. Here we call it beige. The moisture in the walls or leakage or seepage or any of these issues. You can see those things. You can see the cracks in the paint. अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है. Boss, this one is a complete fantasy. The one you're buying. You don't know what the issues are. It may have the same leakage, seepage. You don't know it. Why are you assuming that you're going to get a picture perfect house? Resale property is a better buy. Absolutely no doubt about it. Another one thing, you're buying an under construction property on loan. You will buy a resale property also on loan. Resale property actually exists. Under construction property is a promise which may or may not come into existence, and you are taking a loan for that. And you may end up paying a loan for a property which will not exist, which may never exist in future. It's a big risk. No, it's okay. I believe Godrej. I believe this brand name. Now, this is brainwash. The brand name makes you override your common sense. Okay, then there's the interest cost. If you factor in your interest cost and then look at the same purchase, A resale house, I'm going to pay interest on the loan. An under construction house, I'm going to pay interest on the loan. But an under construction house, I'm not getting the house to live in. A resale house, I can move into this house, visualize staying in that same house elsewhere on rent. That is your cost of not occupying the house for the next 3 years. If the rent is 1.5 lakh rupees, multiply that by 36 months. That is your loss. Whereas here you got a resale house, you move straight in. You're saving up that much rent. That is your gain. 30, 40, 50 lakh rupees is your gain. Why are you not counting it? Another thing, suppose you lose your job tomorrow. If you've taken an under construction property, good luck trying to sell that under construction property. If you lose your job tomorrow and you've taken a resale property, sure you can sell the resale property. Maybe at a distress, maybe at a lower price. Doesn't matter. You will pay back the loan. You'll be okay. You'll be back on rent. But you have an asset in hand which you can sell. So there are all these plus points which are there for resale, which are not there for under construction. Public is so much in the mood of buying under construction that they are not at all keen on thinking about resale.